All right, well, welcome everyone to Popcorn and Parables. My name is Joey.
I'm Elias.
And today we are going to be doing a July and August review. Basically, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going over the movies that we watched in July and August. It's not going to be every single movie. It's going to be the movies that me and him both watched together. And we're going to go ahead and give you guys some points, and we're going to yap about what we liked, what we didn't like, and then we're going to give it a official Popcorn and Parables rating. Now, disclaimer, everything and mostly everything that's going to be said is going to be a spoiler. So most likely, okay? If you haven't seen the movies that we're going to talk about today and you don't want spoilers, stop watching and go watch the movie and then come back and listen to our review. All right, so ready to get started?
Yeah, do keep in mind, again, like he said, so what we're going to be talking about 5 films in particular that are both from July and August. And yeah, do keep in mind, there are a lot of movies that come out daily. Me and Joey do watch a lot of movies, like maybe 5-7 movies a week. So particularly, we're going to talk about 5 in particular that we saw, give them our rating, give our thoughts, give your opinions. And yeah, I'm excited. Let's get started.
Awesome. And also something that I forgot to mention in the intro, I'll make sure to do it in the second episode that we do. But we are 2 dudes who love Christ and have a passion for film. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump into our July and August review. So the first movie we're going to be talking about is going to be Superman. Oof. All right. Now, we're going to give you some basic information and facts behind the movie, and then we're going to go ahead and yap about what are some things that we liked and things that we didn't like. So, Superman originally released on July 11th of 2025. The budget for the film was $265 million. That's a lot of money, right? And out of all the movies that we're going to talk about today, this is going to be the highest budget out of all the movies that are listed. The highest. Crazy, right?
You know?
Now, gross profit that this movie made for domestic, so that's North America only, made about $347 million in North America, which already went over budget, so props to James Gunn and the people that made this movie. And global, $604.5 million.
Wow.
So they tripled that.
They broke even and got more.
They broke even and got more, exactly. So, and that is also the highest gross amount of all the movies we're going to talk about today as well. So this movie made the most profit out of all the movies that we're going to be talking about today. And one more thing I want to go over, we're going to go over the Rotten Tomatoes for Superman. So the tomato meter, and if you guys don't know, the tomato meter is consisted of critics that are certified by Rotten Tomatoes that review this movie. And the popcorn meter, which we'll go over after, is the audience score. So the tomato meter was at 83% out of 100, and the popcorn meter was at 90%. So obviously the audience liked it more than the critics. I would say that 83% is still a good number, but definitely the audience loved it more than the critics. So, Elias, go ahead and take it away.
Okay, so we're talking about Superman. So coming off the bat, it got a 9. The people gave it a 90, and I'm not trying to bash the film, and I'm not trying to say that it's a bad film. Matter of fact, so when this movie came out, it had a lot of things for it. When it came out, there was a lot of hype behind it because I feel like for the last 10 years, DC has just been not good. Yeah. It hasn't been good. I mean, in personal takes, I did personally like Schneider's Superman. I just felt that Henry was when I think of a Superman, he looked like a Superman. He was big, he was built, and I feel like he was the way his character was built was very, he was very sad, but he was also very invincible in a way. And I'll kind of explain that more on my take on this Superman. So coming into this one, I had a feeling it was going to be good. just because James Gunn did, and I'm like, okay, James Gunn is familiar with these things, and just by so when the trailers came out, actually, I was a little bit concerned because I was afraid we're getting another thing with like kind of DC formula where we're just gonna introduce all these characters for no reason. And yeah, this film does introduce a lot of characters. So when I saw this, I was concerned for a bit, but then I'm like, you know what? Let's give it a chance. And I saw this in IMAX too, so like watching it in IMAX actually changed my opinion on it. So
IMAX, man.
Superman by itself, I think it's a good film. Now there are some things I love about it, things I don't like about it. So things that I like about it is, I think that there's Superman himself is done very well. Him as a character is done very well. His whole thing of being Superman is very well. I like it, and I like the concept that this Superman has because it just feels very like he wants to save people. Where I'm not gonna lie, in the Schneider one, it does feel like he has like, I have to help them. This one is like, I want to help them. Yeah. So I feel like him as a character is done very well. Lois Lane is done very well. Lex Luthor is done so well that I love the character. Like
phenomenal actor too.
Yes, like
what was his name?
This man just shows like
Nicholas Hoult.
Nicholas Hoult,
wow.
Like he knows how to be a good hater. And I love the fact that like again, this is a spoiler part. Like there's like who else has a room full of monkeys that they're just trained to just say negative things about a person? Like that is like next level of being a hater.
That's a good point.
And those are the three characters I do think. Everyone else is okay for me. Like this version of Lantern, it's cool. I mean, he's not bad, but maybe because I'm biased, because like when I think of Green Lantern, I think of like Jon Stewart. Like from the animated, like that's my Green Lantern.
I was a little taken aback by Green Lantern and how he looked. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, he's not a bad Lantern.
He wasn't bad. Let me preface: he wasn't a bad Green Lantern. He was good. I just thought it would have gone a different direction, but it's okay. It's
fine. And again, I think everyone else has done very well. My only takeaway, so another thing is that like before I kind of talk about my takeaways from it, a lot of people were kind of confused about, and I've had people talk to me about like, I don't like that this Superman doesn't have an origin story, and it just kind of jumps right into like, what's going on, and honestly, I was perfectly fine with it just because I feel like these movies have been around for so long that you can we've had like how many origin stories, like it's like when the Batman came out, which is another great film, like the Twilight Batman, like that one. No, don't get me wrong. He's a great actor. I actually just saw him in Harry Potter the other day for the first time, and
shout out Cedric Diggory.
Cedric is probably the greatest thing ever. But like my thing is that Batman doesn't introduce him. He just kind of walks in. He's already Batman. And how many times have we heard the story of Batman's origins? How many times we're going to see his parents get shot?
How many different origins have we heard too?
Yes,
of the same thing.
So like that's how I feel about Superman. Where I'm like, how many times are we going to see like, you're meant to go to this world, Kal-El, save this planet. Like we've seen this already a lot, so I don't need to see it again. I know the story, so like I just want to walk in and just kind of see Superman do Superman things. And I love the fact that like it feels like honestly, one thing, the biggest take for me about this film is that it feels like Superman the animated series in a way. Like it feels just like, when we last saw Superman, this happened, and then literally how it starts, like, Superman, it's the first time is fighting somebody that can actually duke it out with him. And he just walks in. He's already kind of, fight's already over, but like, we're just jumping right into the adventure. And I like it. My only pet peeves is I feel like the Superman does get thrown around too much. Like he does get punched a lot, beat up too much, thrown around too much. Which, I get it. You want to humanize the character too. But like, again, at the end of the day, like, I don't know. Some people don't like that. This is where Superman's a very controversial character because sometimes people don't like that a character that's so OP'd. But honestly, if the character's OP, let him be OP. That's what I feel about Superman. And that's why I kind of liked Henry's version of Superman Schneider, where if you watch Superman, the first Superman, or Batman v Superman, or Justice League, the way he's portrayed is very OP'd, where the only thing that can kind of even harm him is like other Kryptonians. Because even when he fights Batman in those films... That's a
good point that you just said.
Yeah, because like even when he fights Batman in those films, like he hits him with the kryptonite, but even then it wears off quick.
Yeah.
in this one, like there's kryptonite, and like
he
he's
did
just
look
like,
a little weak in some areas. I'm not gonna lie. That's a wow, good point you
yeah,
brought up. Wow.
and
Yeah.
like this one, he just looks kind of, again, he gets beat up a lot. And then I think the one thing that made me took it away, and this is actually the reason why I took off a whole star in my rating with Superman, is the fact that like we can't act like Hawkgirl didn't just assassinate the president of another country. We can't ignore that. And it's like people were like, "Oh no, but like he's a bad person. Like you saw he was gonna do, like he was trying to invade another country." And yes, we get it. But like she assassinated the president. I can't. I remember watching that in the film, and I was very like I felt uncomfortable. I was like, oh, hold on. I'm like, she just murdered him. That's the word, murder. She murdered their president.
Yeah.
So it's like, it just felt unsettling with me, because I feel like the Justice League shouldn't do that, and I feel like it goes back to where the beginning, where like everybody was tripping about Superman interfering, but then this girl just kills the whole president, and we're not gonna talk about it. And I think I heard rumors that they're going to address it in future films, but right now, at the moment, that is not canonly addressed. The Justice League basically, Justice Friends. The Justice Friends assassinated the president of another country. I think that's what they're called, right? Are they the Justice Friends, or
Oh my gosh, what was the name that Green Lantern gave something? Gang something
Justice,
or something.
was it the
Justice Gang.
Justice
I think it
Gang.
was Justice Gang. Yeah.
I might be wrong though. Don't be wrong.
Something like that. Yeah.
But yeah, that's mostly my take on it. I think it's so I do have a lot of nitpicks with the film, but I can't take away that I still think it's one of the better Superman films we've had. I think personally, it's a top 3 of the best Superman films we've seen. Because again, I'm still debating about because I think the first with the Christopher Reeve Superman 1 and 2, they're just very iconic and amazing films. Where personally, the first one I saw was the second one as a kid, and that's the one that I personally love more. So for me, that's my one. So I still debate if the first Superman and this one will be second place or not, but for sure it's a top 3 for me. I don't know. What is your takes on the film?
Yeah. So for me, I'm gonna be a little bit vulnerable here and say that the lead up to when this movie came out, and by the way, this isn't just going to be just for this movie. There's another movie that this same thing happened, where when that first trailer came out for it, way back when, I was like, okay, this looks really good, right? And I was excited to see it. Then something happened where they just started pumping out trailers, and the trailers were just boom, 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 and I was like, man, they're kind of like, I don't want to say they market it too hard, because there's nothing wrong with marketing it like a lot, because that brings people in. But for me, just the mass producing of trailers, that tends to kind of like give away some key elements of the movie. Like for example, when you look at the latest Captain America movie, one of the faults that they did was in the trailer, they
just gave away the Red Hulk.
They gave away the biggest part of the movie, which was the Red Hulk. Now, I never saw that movie, but that was one of the reasons why I didn't see it, was because I'm just like, okay, so that's what it's about. And then I had a friend that watched it, and they were like, yeah. And I was like, that's why I didn't watch it.
I think the reason why they did that, though, was because I think they were afraid that this film wasn't going to be...
Because Marvel was already tanking at that time. So
it was already tanking, so like I think they were afraid of just like, okay, no one's going to want to see this movie. Yeah. We need something to bring.
And that's what I'm saying. That like overproducing of trailers is, I think, what they were trying to do with this. But I think after watching the movie, it didn't need that, because it was a great, amazing film. You could have honestly dropped like 2 trailers, and because it's a Superman movie, you would have got a bunch of people who are lifelong Superman fans to get in the theater. And it's like Elias was saying, we already know his origin story. We don't need another one. So the fact that they just kind of like pushed him in there and everyone knew who he was, I felt like that was so baller in a way. So I was like, cool, I'm down for that. So yeah, I didn't think going into it was going to be a good film because of the mass production of trailers. And I will sit before you and say that I was wrong. This movie was amazing. This was a great great film. And I think one of my favorite scenes of it, which made me really like it, was the part where it's kind of towards the end. And again, this is a spoiler. Lex Luthor and him kind of, yeah.
Oh, I know what you're talking about already.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful scene. Superman just finishes beating up these bots that I think it looked like him. Lex Luthor made the bots to be like Superman, but you can't be Superman. That's the point. But whatever. So he beats all the bots up, and then he goes up to Lex Luthor, and then Lex Luthor is calling him like, "Oh, you alien!" Ah. So he calls him an alien, and then this is the part that got me. Superman was like, "I'm not an alien. I'm just as human as the rest of you," and that brought Superman to such a level of relatability that I've never had with a superhero before, and it made me love him that much more than I ever have.
What does he say again? Like he's like, "Oh, like I wake up the same as you guys. I wake up, put my 2 feet on the floor, and like
it was such an amazing
I think about
part.
What to like right to do or things like that, and
right.
Again, it was a very human thing that he does say.
It was awesome, and that's what made me lean towards the rating that I gave it. And yeah, man, that was such an amazing film. Do you have anything else to add before we give the rating?
It's funny, none of us even talked about Crypto in the film.
Crypto, yo,
so
best character. I'm not gonna lie.
Personally, I mean, so for me, did I like Crypto? Honestly, I think I'm kind of mutual with Crypto.
I thought Crypto was hilarious, bro.
Because
hilarious.
I thought it was random that Crypto was in this film, but I don't know, it's weird.
Well, actually, so that's a good question.
I wasn't excited about Crypto, but I also didn't hate he was there.
Yeah.
He was just there, and I'm like, okay, cool.
Would you say that you know more about like the lore and the comics, right? So you saying that you didn't think that Crypto was like possibly a good idea to be in the film, is that because of lore, or is that just because you didn't think that he needed to be in the movie?
Well, I don't think it's the fact that like I didn't want him in the film. It was just more of kind of caught me off guard, because again, I believe this is the first time we've seen like a full Crypto in like a live action.
That is true. I don't remember. I think it's because when was he in Man of Steel or no? No, right? That was just Superman movie.
The only time I've seen Crypto was like in the animated show.
He definitely wasn't in Justice League, from what I remember, right?
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't.
The only Crypto lore I know is just the Crypto the Superdog, the show that came out.
Right.
Personally, I never saw it because again, I was already older at the time when that came out, so like I wasn't really watching that.
Yeah.
So I guess when I saw him in the live action, that's kind of the character that made me go back. So I'm like, oh, like I don't really, not that I don't care, but I'm like, okay, if he's in it or not, let's see what they're gonna do with him. And I liked what they did with him. But honestly, for me, like just like when the trailer came out, when they saw Crypto was there, like I was just neutral about it. Like I wasn't excited to see Crypto, but also I didn't mind him not being there either.
Yeah. All right. Ready for the rating?
Yep.
All right. So, by the way, just for information, our ratings are going to be out of 5. So anywhere from a 0 stars to 5 stars. And the reason we do that is because we use Letterboxd. If you guys have Letterboxd, we're going to go ahead and drop our profiles in the description so you guys can give us a follow. So our ratings are going to be from 0 to 5. So my rating is a 5 out of 5. I gave the movie all 5 stars because I thought it was great. And I think as you see us rate, you'll see more of our styles of how we rate films. And you'll see that grow. So yeah, for me, I gave it a 5 out of 5.
I'm gonna give it. I'm not gonna lie to you. So one thing about me is that not that I'm not picky with films, but and again, it's nothing with you, but like I don't personally give out 5s just that fast,
which is a good thing. Which is if you see him, encourage him on that. He needs it.
Like for me, a 5 is for certain films, and I don't think I'm not giving a single 5.
It's okay. It's fine.
So let me just tell you what my number is.
Yeah.
And it's controversial because I wrote a number here, but now that I'm talking about it, I'm changing it. So like, I wrote so like on my notes I wrote 4, but like now that I'm talking about it, I'm gonna say 3.5 stars for me.
Okay.
So 3.5 out of 5.
Okay.
And the reason why I gave it that is because it's a good film. It's just not a film. There's just a lot of nitpicks I had with it. So again, for me, the assassination of the president took a whole star off from me, and then after that, for me, everything else was just. I feel like the rest of the character. After 3 characters, 3 characters are made very well. Everyone else is just whatever. So like, and then for me, it just felt like it was just too many people being introduced at the same time.
Okay.
So why did you give it a 5?
Yeah. So again, as you see us rate movies, you'll get to understand more of how our rating system works. I give 5s to movies that I watch that I just kind of get lost in, and if I don't have any complaints about it, if I'm not like whispering to left and to my right about, oh, what I just saw, oh, this was bad. Like, if I sit there and I don't like think about anything and I'm just immersed in the world of what I'm watching, I think that's deserving of a 5, because that is elite filmmaking, when you can transport someone out of their reality and put them in this world that you want them to be in. So for me, I watched Superman and my eyes were glued to the screen, and I did not even think about looking to the left or the right. I was just locked in on the story, and I was taken for a ride. It was amazing. So yeah, for me, that's why I gave it a 5.
Right.
So with that being said, our official Popcorn and Parables rating for Superman is a 8.5 out of 10.
Technically 8, because I took off a half mid.
Well, I just did the math now.
Oh, okay.
So I literally just changed it like mid because I was like, I gotta change it. So yeah, Superman, 8.5 out of 10. So ready to move on to the next one?
Yeah.
All right. So the next one we're going to be talking about is the Fantastic Four First Steps. So again, more facts about this movie. This movie released on July 25th, 2025. The budget for this movie was $200 million. So $65 million difference from Superman and Fantastic Four. If you really want to go or get to the nitty gritty, this was kind of like a competition of Marvel versus DC between these two movies.
Yeah.
So the budget for this one was less, right, than Superman. Now the gross for this movie, domestic, again, North America, it made about $257.3 million North America. Global, $490.1 million.
So Superman
made more money. So do with that information what you will. Now we're going to get to the Rotten Tomatoes score of this movie. So the tomato meter for this one, 87%. So the critics liked Fantastic Four more than Superman. And the popcorn meter for this one was 91%. So the audience also liked Fantastic Four more than Superman. And also, this popcorn meter, 91%, is the highest popcorn meter of all the movies that we're going to talk about today.
Really?
So 91% for Fantastic Four is crazy. So, Elias, what did you think about Fantastic Four?
Okay, so you brought up the concept of like, because yeah, both of these films came out at the same time, around the same time, and a lot of people were just talking about like, oh, Marvel versus DC. And the interesting thing about this is just that when this film was, so things that DC was, when Superman came out, DC was trying to prove to itself, hey, we can make these films now. This is the new face. This is the new direction we're going. Mm-hmm. We're coming in strong. And Marvel kind of had to demonstrate to themselves, hey, you know what? We're the juggernauts of this cinematic comic book universe films that we've already been since Endgame has been declining little bit by little. There's a couple of films that go up. In particular, again, Spider-Man No Way Home in particular is one that like people really saw, or there's other few in between.
They just weren't on the same level after Endgame, man. Yeah. Marvel just kind of dipped in their good movie area.
Yeah. So like and honestly, when I saw both of these trailers, I remember telling people like, okay, I think Fantastic Four is gonna be okay, but I think Superman's gonna be the better film. Until I saw Fantastic Four, and yeah, this is actually a really good film. Yeah. Like, And it's the fact of like, okay, so there's a lot of things that this film has had coming into itself. So to start off, like, some people were kind of like iffy about Pedro Pascal being Mr. Fantastic, and I think it's not even because, I think it's because we're kind of seeing Pedro Pascal like literally all the time now. Like he's literally in everything.
Yeah.
Like literally, matter of fact, when this film came out, he had 2 other films also in theater. I forgot the names of the other 2 were, but there was 3 films in the same time in July that featured Pedro Pascal in it. So some people feel like they're like Pascal fatigued.
Yeah,
so that's why some people didn't want to see this. And then, like, so when I first came in and saw this, I was intrigued. Yeah. And honestly, it's a great film. I think, despite the fact that Pedro's in everything, I can't take away the fact that this man works. Like, this man is a great actor. Like, when I was watching this film, I didn't see Pedro Pascal. I saw Reed Richards. I think he nailed the character great. I personally think, okay, like, let's talk about Reed Richards in general himself in this film. I think he's great. He sounds smart. He talks smart. He's everything he's supposed to be. Because, like, Reed Richards is, like, I believe, quote me wrong, I think he's like he is the third smartest person in the Marvel Universe. So, like, the way he talks, he portrays himself, it works very well. And then my only thing is just that I feel like I would have liked more of the stretching powers. Because, like, again, this is a spoiler part. Like,
there was a little bit less of stretchy power.
Because, like, he didn't really stretch as much.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they got the brain part right, but the stretching part, they could have done expanded more.
They could have done more stretchy. Yeah,
like, again, this is, like, I'm saying the spoiler, but, like, the scene where he's fighting Galactus, like, lo tiene así, like, yeah, and he's like,
yeah.
There's a comic book where
that was the best stretchy part, though, of the movie, I will say.
Yeah, but there's a comic where he actually, there's a comic that exists that he stretches his whole body all over Galactus. So I'm like, yeah, he can stretch a lot more than that. But overall, this is what I think the film does better in particular. So, like, I like the fact that, like, it does the same thing where, like, you don't get an origin story. It just comes in, hey, this is who we are. It does give you a background of how they got there. And it does it better than Superman. Because Superman just does it through text. Hey, for the last 3 years, this is what Superman's been doing. This one you visually see, they tell you, hey, this is what they've been doing, so you just walk into their universe as well. I guess what else? And then let's talk about the other Fantastic Four. Like, I love Ben Grimm's character. I love how he's portrayed in this film. It's crazy because it's actually the first time I believe a Jewish man plays Ben Grimm, and because Ben Grimm is a Jewish man. I loved Ben Grimm in this this is the first time that, like, a Jewish man plays, like, a Jewish character. Yeah, I forgot because of the actor's name. I forgot his name, but, like, he has a very Star Warsy name. Like, I forgot the name, but, like,
which one was he?
The guy who plays Ben Grimm. He has, like, a very Star Wars name.
Ebon Moss Bachrach.
Yeah, like Ebon Moss Bachrach. Like, it's very Star Wars.
That is a Star Wars character indeed. No, I'm just playing.
Like. And also, one thing a lot of people don't know is that this isn't the first time he's in the Marvel Universe. No. He was actually plays a character in The Punisher, which is another great series.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was in The Punisher.
Wow.
Yeah, I forgot the character's name that he plays, but, like, he's in the main cast. I think my favorite character that is done very well is Johnny Storm himself. Yes. Just because Johnny Storm, yes, you have the traits that usually Johnny Storms have. Like, yeah, he's arrogant. He likes girls, but what I like about this one is that he's also made very smart. Because Johnny Storm was a smart man, but, like, I feel like probably before, a lot of things just make him just kind of be a goofy character. But in this one, like, again, he has his own side quest. He solves the situations himself. And I love the fact of how there are 2 occasions in this film where he just offers to sacrifice himself, and not once does he think about it. He just bluntly goes in. Like, when the Silver Surfer says, like, oh, like, we need the child. And he just thinks about it. He doesn't even think about it. He just goes like, hey, no, how about you just take me? Don't take him, take me. Doesn't think about it. The second scene where, like, later on at the end, like, where they push Galactus into the portal and then he comes out, his first reaction was like, okay, let me go sacrifice myself. And he's like, hey, tell my nephew I love him. And then he just, boom, goes directly in. And then obviously Silver Surfer stops him and she sacrifices herself. But, like, it's just 2 occasions where the character just doesn't care. He just sacrifices himself for his family, for his friends, and I enjoyed that so much. Yeah. So yeah, any nitpicks I have with this film, I think I don't think I have any nitpicks with it. I think my only gripe is just that I don't know what's coming next after this film because things that Avengers supposed to take place right after that,
Yeah.
and I feel like right now they're in a
That
situation.
is the only thing we know about what's coming next is Doomsday, but we don't know about like a sequel to Fantastic Four.
No, but like in the sense of like
Yeah.
'cause the next film is Doomsday, but like
Right.
I feel like we still don't know what direction they're gonna go right after this or how it's
Yeah.
gonna take place.
Yeah.
So I think that's my only nitpick with this film. But after that, I don't think I have any other issues. I do also love that the family, like in this universe, I guess the Fantastic Four are very loved, and like
That is true.
yeah, I guess there are things that they do that are like unrealistic, but like the fact that they get the whole world together. Hey guys, it's all the world, not even their town, the world. Let's all get together and let's do this. And everybody's like, okay, let's do it. Hey, the world's gonna blow. Hey, we need to save power. Can you, everybody, turn off your power? Like, okay, cool. Like they're very cooperative, and also with the direction that it went, also caught me off guard because I thought that the film once like they make Galactus like, oh, like I want your child, like he wants a child, and then the fact that like Reed Richards like, oh, what did he want? And some people don't, oh, why he could have just said like, oh, like he didn't like that. He could not have mentioned it, but he does like, cause like, oh, what did Galactus want? He wants a child, and we're not gonna give him to him. And everybody got upset, but then at the end, like, his Invisible Woman just like does her Vin Diesel was like, we are all family, and this, and this. And everybody's like, yeah, like I was mad, like, and
Yeah,
like,
Vin Diesel. Family.
like, yeah, she's right. Let's not sacrifice the kid.
Yeah.
And it was something that I thought I was gonna go far, like, oh, like the rest of the film is gonna be everyone just hating on them, but no, like that's not even that. I think that's even last like
That was a very cool like heel element about
Yeah.
about the movie that they were gonna have him like turn on the fence. That was a cool element that I wasn't expecting.
but they don't.
But they don't. Yeah.
What about you? What's
they
your
don't.
take on the film?
Yeah. So really quick, I just want to give a huge shout out to Julia Garner, who played Silver Surfer in this film. Julia Garner is in another movie that we're going to talk about in this
is.
movie review, and she did Wolfman that came out earlier in the year. So she has some pretty big films for 2025. So shout out to Julia Garner. She did an amazing job in this movie and also in those as well. So for me, this was the other movie that I was talking about that because of how much they were amping up the movie before the movie actually came out, I thought it was going to be bad. And I was just like, it's just, and especially because of the fact that Marvel has been doing so poor that I was like, man, you know what? Marvel's kind of doo-doo right now. I'm not going to worry about watching a movie I'm not even going to like and whatever. Until my friends went to go see it and they were like, you need to go watch it. Marvel is back. And I'm like, no way. And lo and behold, me and my wife went to go watch it. And I thought also that Superman was going to be better. Tell me how when me and my wife went to go watch it, I almost cried twice during this movie. That is how amazing the movie was, first of all. And second of all, how sentimental it was. For me, I gave the movie a 5 out of 5. Now, I know what you're going to say. You hand out these ratings like hotcakes. You get 5s to every movie. No, that's not the case. We're talking about Superman and Fantastic Four. These are like elite movies, okay? And for me, it was the same. It was the same ordeal. Like I walked into the theater, I sat down, I watched the movie for however long it was, and I didn't think about anything else until the movie was done. I was locked into the story. I was locked into what they were giving me, and it was just amazing. I have no complaints. I didn't waste my time. It was awesome. So for me, 5 out of 5.
4 out of 5 for me. So for me, like I said, for me, like a 5-star film, I have to be in. For me to give out 5 stars, it just has to. I have to be from beginning to end, like locked into the film, and I literally have to leave with like, yo, like this was an amazing film. Like I am like astonished by everything from acting, production, because like I look at those details of like how well it's made. Because again, at the end of the day, like making films is an art form, So like I've only given 5 stars to like 2 things this entire year, which maybe we'll talk about them eventually. And for me, it's a 4 out of 5. Now, comparing the two, which one I like better? Well, obviously, out of the rating, I would say yes. Fantastic Four was better for me, and yeah, I think it's better for me. I like it better than Superman, just because I have
Fantastic Four is better than Superman. I will say that. Even though it's the same rating for me, Fantastic Four is better.
Yeah. All right.
So, with that being said, the official Popcorn and Parables rating for Fantastic Four First Steps is a 9.5 out of 10. Which, that is going to be the highest rating of this whole list for all the movies that we're going to talk about. It's the highest rating. So, Fantastic Four, 9.5 out of 10. Ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Let's go. So, our next movie is going to be Happy Gilmore 2.
Yeah.
So Happy Gilmore 2 is obviously the sequel to Happy Gilmore, and a little bit of facts about the movie. This was released on July 25th, 2025, released on the same day as Fantastic Four. The budget for this movie was $152.5 million. And the gross, $0. I know what you're thinking. It didn't make any movie. It's because it was released on a streaming platform. There's no profit from that. It's already discussed in their contract.
This is also the only Netflix film we're talking about.
It is the only film that was released on streaming platforms that we're talking about. Great point. So, that being said, Rotten Tomatoes scores. The tomato meter was 63%.
Sounds about right.
Which is just, yeah. The critics didn't like this one. That is going to be definitely the lowest rating on this list for the critic meter. The popcorn meter, 65%, which is also going to be the lowest. So yeah, Happy Gilmore 2. What do you think, Elias?
Okay, so this was a film that, realistically, the reason why I saw it is because I saw the first one. That was the only reason why I was like, let me catch it. Just because I feel like I haven't really been. So yeah, growing up, I loved a lot of Adam Sandler's films. Again, I loved the Water Boy. I loved Happy Gilmore when it came out. I loved The Wedding Singer. I loved The Big Daddy. I think The Longest Yard might be the last Adam Sandler film in that era that I genuinely loved. Like,
shout out Adam Sandler, man.
Loved. But then after that, like I feel like after Click, like there was this timeline where I just stopped watching most of those films, just because I feel like, and this might be a hot take, but like I feel like he just kind of lost his touch. And after that, like once in a while, like there'll be one or two good films in between that he would make, but like, example like Uncut Gems, great film.
Fantastic film. Anyway,
Hustle is another great film. But
wow.
After that, like I feel like lately everything he's made, like I'm personally not a big fan of it. Personally, I don't like Grown Ups or any of those films.
That is a very bold statement.
That is my personal conviction of them. I know there's people. I know there's people that love these films. I know that people like, oh my god, they're awesome. But like, I don't like them. Yeah. Now this one, I was kind of coming in with that same energy. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch this because it's on Netflix. I'm not using a stub ticket. I'm going to just watch this in my own time in my room and chill.
Yeah. Oh, we should mention that we are both A-listers for AMC, so we do watch a lot of movies. We already said that, but as far as like in theater, we go a lot. Shout out to the A-listers.
Shout out to the A-listers.
You guys are the real ones. You were saying.
So when what can I say about this film? I feel like it's not okay. So like, I don't dislike this film, and I don't love this film either. It was one of those. It's a film that I can just say at the end, like, oh yeah, I saw it. But I think after that, like that's mostly I got out of it, because I feel that, is it a sequel? Does the sequel need to exist? I don't think so.
No.
Or any of us kind of acting, or any of us questioning, hey, what's Happy Gilmore up to? What's he been doing? Like, I don't think personally, I don't know anybody who's asking, like what happens next? But for a continuation of the story, I think it's a fine story. Yeah. The first 10 minutes catch me off guard because like, Buddy basically killed his wife. Like
that was a little kind of like
that caught me
whoa.
off. That caught me off guard. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, and it's not even that like the character, like the actress couldn't be available. Like she's in the film.
She's there.
She's there as a ghost or whatever. But like, I was like, Jesus, like the what? You just the
How you
wife
gonna
dies.
kill your wife, bro? Like,
Yeah, and then like the whole, I like the concept of just like, oh, like he's going back into, let me go back into golfing solely because he's trying to just help his daughter pursue her dreams of being a dancer, which is his actual daughter too. So, okay, yeah, that's one. I guess that's
really
one
cool,
positive thing.
that the family was.
That's
there.
one positive thing I would add is that because both his daughters are in this film. One plays his actual daughter, like in the film, and then the other one plays somebody in the AA meetings he goes to.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see his character talk to both of them, you just, and again, because they're his kids, you just feel that connection. So like when Happy's talking to his daughter, you feel the connection of father-daughter because it's genuine. When you see him talking to the AA girl, like you feel the connections between everybody. I do think it's a film that relies too much on the first one, so I feel like it has a lot of cameos, and personally, I think it could be excessive for me. There's some cameos that are cool, some that I'm like, okay, like, sure, it's cool to see you here. Particularly like Eminem's cameo was just random, and his barely 5 minutes of screen time he's in there. He was like, okay, cool, Eminem's here. Oh, okay, Eminem's gone. Bye, Eminem. Like, I just want to sit down and I want to wonder, like, how did he set this up? Like, hey, like, did he like send out a message like to everybody? Hey, I'm dropping this movie. How many cameos?
If you want to be in it.
If you want to be in the movie, come make a cameo. And I think the only cameo that's in here that's done very well is actually Bad Bunny's Bad Bunny.
Yeah,
He's actually good in this film.
Unfortunately, he's good.
No, I'm not. No, like no. I'm not.
Well,
even,
that's my opinion. Unfortunately, he was
this
good.
sounds crazy, but like I've seen him in other films, and
Yeah.
like Bad Bunny is not like he's not. Like he
definitely didn't do a bad job in this.
He didn't
film.
do a bad job.
He did really good.
He's not Robert De Niro, but like
Your flowers. Here you go, Bad Bunny.
He's not bad. Like his presence did not annoy me every time he was on screen. So
I thought I was gonna get annoyed by Bad Bunny, but it didn't happen.
No. I think that's all I really have to say about it. The story is fine. Again, it's just Happy Gilmore doing happy things. It's just I feel like I said, it's just too much relies on the past where. And I feel like the movie, I don't want to say it treats the viewers like they're dumb, but like, cause like a character from part one comes up, oh look who this is, flashback, that was this guy, and then it goes back and it's like, yeah, okay, how about you let us, we can figure it out. Like, oh hey, yeah, I remember, hey, that's the guy from the first one.
Yeah.
You don't need to show me every time a character from part one is there that you're like, oh wait, he was in the movie. Flashback.
They probably assumed that there were going to be people that didn't watch the first one.
But my thing is that if you're watching a movie called Happy Gilmore 2, why wouldn't you watch the first one?
There's a first one? Oh, let me
exactly.
go.
Why wouldn't you go back and watch the first one? Matter of fact, before I saw this one, I'm like, let me watch the first one again just to refresh my memory.
Yeah. That's exactly what I did. I actually didn't watch the first one ever. So
interesting.
I watched these two on the same day. I watched Happy Gilmore 1 and 2 on the same day. I knew about Happy Gilmore obviously because of the influence that it had, but I just never watched it because it never came across my mind. When I heard there was a part 2 coming out, I was like, I guess this warranted a sequel, so let me watch the first one. And the first one was just awesome. What a great movie. Now, but we're talking about part 2. So yeah, guys. So for me, my rating on Happy Gilmore 2 was that it was great. Okay, it was a great film. For me, what kind of put the rating so high was the star-studded cast that every 5 or 10 seconds a new mainstream character would just come out of nowhere, and I'm just like, bro, how did they get this guy on there? And if I can just go through the list really quick of the cast, obviously Adam Sandler, Christopher McDonald, who was in the original, came back, and I was like, this guy's in this movie. Holy crap. Ben Stiller, GOAT, obviously. Obviously, Bad Bunny. You have Adam Sandler's kids are in this movie. You also have Eric Andre is in this movie. Post Malone is in this movie. Bryson DeChambeau is in this movie. A bunch of golfers. Ricky Fowler is in this movie. Brooks Koepka, Rory McIlroy, Jack Nicklaus, who's the guy that's like that guy. He's in this movie. Scotty Scheffler, Jordan Spieth, Bubba Watson's in this movie. Travis Kelce, Eminem, as he mentioned already. Rob Schneider. How can I forget Rob Schneider? That guy, that guy is goated. And if you would watch Grown Ups, you would understand why he's goated. But
Kelsey Plum's in this thing too, right?
Kelsey Plum is in this one. Stephen A. Smith. I didn't mention him.
Stephen A. Smith
is in this movie.
He's also in this.
Yeah.
I heard rumors.
Also, Becky Lynch is in this movie. MJF is in this movie.
I heard rumors that a lot of these people that he got did it for free. I'm not sure how confirmed that true that is, but a lot of
Let
people...
us know in the comments if that's true.
Like, I'm not sure.
My rating was mostly the way it was just because of the star-studded cast that was in it. And also the amount of homage that they paid to the first film was just like it made it seem like they really wanted to do well with this, even though it didn't need a sequel. They still you can tell that they put a lot of TLC into it. So, and obviously this is not a film that you take serious, but it was still, in my opinion, it was still well made. So yeah, you have anything else to add?
So you like everything I don't like about it, basically.
Yes, if you compare the pair, then everything that you didn't like, I enjoyed, which is fine. Differing views actually make for a better rating and a better review. So I think that's perfectly fine.
All right.
So ready for ratings?
Final rating.
Final rating, I gave it a 4.5. And again, 4.5 because... Again, the cast and just the value of the movie, like the way that they made it, you can tell that it was well. So, yeah, 4.5 for me.
So no 5.
No 5 for this one, guys. Maybe the next one, but not for this one.
So I gave it a 3.5. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it. I feel like I'm being very generous. I don't think it deserves a 3.5. But I'm just going to keep it because... I guess that's what I put when I first saw it. So I'm going to keep it, but I guess 3.5 for me.
3.5. All right. So with that being said, that brings the official Popcorn and Parables rating for Happy Gilmore 2 to a 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 for Happy Gilmore 2. All right. So for the next movie, we're going to go ahead and review Together. So Together, obviously that's the film it's Dave Franco, right? Not James. Dave Franco. Dave Franco was in this one with his actual wife, which is pretty cool. So Together, it was released on July 30th of 2025. This will be the last July movie that we do. So this is the end of July. The next one will be the one and only August film that we do. But so Together, released on July 30th of 2025. The budget for this one, the lowest of all the movies that we're going to talk about so far, only $17 million. I know, only 17 million. Oh, that's a lot of money. For movies, that's a crazy number.
That's cheap.
That's cheap. So 17 million, definitely the lowest that we're going to talk about today. Now, gross profit, domestic North America made about 19.7 million, so it did profit in North America. Global, only 22 million. So in total, it only made about $5 million in profit, which is, you still went over, good job. But not comparable to like a Happy Gilmore 2 or
barely
a
breaking
Fantastic Four.
even. It's barely breaking even, but you got something out of it.
Definitely. So yeah, and now for the Rotten Tomato meter. Now, this one is interesting. This comparison is crazy. The tomato meter for Together, 90%.
They gave it a 90.
90%. That's insane. Compared to the popcorn meter, which is 76%. So the critics love this movie, obviously. But the audience still liked it, but it definitely wasn't their cup of tea, if you will. So why do you think that was, Elias?
So this film and the next film we're going to talk about have the same Like the same, they had the same thing coming in both of these films that we're gonna talk about. So together, and it says it in the poster itself. It's like, oh, this is one of the scariest movies of the year. This movie is very scary. This is this. So I came in with that aspect of like, ooh, I'm gonna get scared. Like, ooh, but I didn't. This film,
Come on, there were some scary parts of the movie. It wasn't scary, but there was some elements.
There was not really a moment. Honestly, I remember laughing more than jumping out of my seat watching this film.
I was the one that was scared. That's why I said that.
What would I say about this? What can I say about this film?
Should you say anything about the film?
I don't know what I want to say about this. I don't know what I want to say about this.
If you know, you know.
So this movie it's interesting. So I guess the only thing I can give my take on it is just that when I first saw this film, I thought, okay, this is a very interesting film. It's very unique in its own way. The story is unique. The situations is unique. Yeah. I think the one thing I remember was just the bathroom scene is the only scene that I remember that I'm like, I was just laughing in my chair. And again, if you've seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. Because I'm like, bro, like and again, I had a feeling that was going to happen in the film. But like, bro, whatever. But yeah, like
that bathroom scene was crazy.
I thought this film was very original when it came out. But then you find out allegations of like this movie right now currently is in a lawsuit for basically plagiarism, because so apparently Dave Franco and his wife were supposed to be in a film with a story very similar to this, and they turned it down because they wanted to produce it, because this one together they both produced this film, but they didn't. This one, the one that originally they wanted them to be in, they couldn't produce it. So they both backed out of the project, and then a couple of years later, this one comes out, and it's very identical. So right now they're fighting, like this whole legal case of like, oh, is this movie stolen? Did you steal the idea and stuff? So everything original about it now makes me question. I'm like, okay, I thought it was original, but is it really? Yeah. So I don't really have much to say about this film. It left me speechless mostly.
Yeah. There is not a lot to say. I did think the movie was good. I think for me, one of the main things that I took away from this one was they took the phrase like being in each other's skin like to a literal standpoint. And I know like there's people that are in relationships that they'll use that phrase metaphorically. Like when they're cuddling or whatever, oh, I wish I could be in your skin to feel like warmth or whatever. But they took that phrase like to a literal standpoint. And I think that was probably the coolest aspect of the film for me, because I've never seen that before. So that's where I think the unique factor that Elias was talking about was there. And it did have me intrigued. I think mostly the reason why I even went to go watch it was because of the fact that they were hyping it up so much, and they were saying that this was going to be the best horror movie of 2025, which now that I've seen other ones after that, it definitely is not. But it does have its place somewhere in that list. Not the best, but somewhere there. I think for me, it definitely kept me interested. Now, if you were to go watch this, I think that one of two things would happen. You would either like it or you would walk out during the middle of it. You could either fall in both camps. I didn't witness anybody walk out of it, so shout out to the troopers at AMC Pines. But I think those two things could happen because, again, this is like a body horror. Spoilers, obviously. This is more of like a body horror movie that is very uncomfortable, and it's meant to be that way. I will say, though, for the budget that they had, for how low it was, this was a decent film. And it was good. Now, when you take into the aspect that Elias was talking about with the plagiarism allegations, we don't know. But if more comes out, we'll see. But just stand alone without anything from the outside, I thought it was good. Anything else?
I think that's a lot to say about Together. Like I said, it's a very unique film.
Yeah.
Okay, I think only one thing. I think the only time that there was a jump scare, but like I didn't jump, I think you probably jumped, was the scene where like like he's just like in his
The
room.
bedroom one, right?
Yeah, he's just in his bedroom, and
Yeah.
then like he just looks down and like randomly sees like this evil thing. But
That
like
one got
when
me.
it pops up,
That
you're
one
like,
got
oh.
me.
But my only thing is that you see that, but then like you never see anything else like that ever again. Like,
Yeah, that was definitely the best and only good jump scare that was in the
like you
film.
never, but like it's never brought up again.
Yeah, that
Like,
whole element doesn't. It's only for that
cause
part.
like
And
yeah,
that's
like
it.
it's stuff in his head, and like it's his mother and stuff, but like it's never brought up again.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Yeah. So I think ready for the review.
Yep.
So I think for this one for me, again, I did like it. So I gave this one a 4, right? So you've seen me give 4. You've seen me give 5, 4.5, and 4. So this one's a 4 for me, and the reason why is because it was a good film. It was great, I think, in a lot of areas. It definitely had potential to get to that point, but there were just a lot of more complaints than I would have liked, and there were some elements of it. There were just some elements of it that particularly were just like I was like, eh. I will say something I will add that I forgot to mention. It almost kind of seemed very obvious that it was going to be kind of culty. As soon as you saw that bell with that symbol, I was like, this is something that has to do with a cult. So it was a little bit predictable. But with that being said, 4 out of 5 for me.
3.5 for me. And again, even then, I feel like I'm being very generous.
Whenever you give a rating, I laugh. It's not that I'm making fun of him. It's just funny how it's like complete difference. I think that's funny.
Like I'm not gonna lie, like even then, like this making me sit. I'm actually thinking about like going back to my Letterboxd and just like re-review everything again, just because like now that I'm like looking at it, I gave it a 3.5 on my Letterboxd, and even now I'm feeling that was very generous of you, Elias.
So you think it's worse?
I think realistically, I would have given it a 3, maybe 2.5.
Do you want to change your rating to a 3?
You know what?
We can if you want.
Yes, do it. Yeah.
All right.
I'm giving it a 3.
All right. So 4, 3, basic math. The official Popcorn and Parables rating for Together is a 7 out of 10. So it got a C, which is,
I feel like that's being generous.
that would be considered mid, right? So Together is mid. Do with that what you will.
I guess.
I would say it's a little bit above average. But now we're approaching our final film. This will probably be not my favorite one that we talked about already, but it is one of my favorites that we've seen so far in this list, and that is Weapons. So, before I even get into anything, this movie was, I don't want to say it was the most hyped up out of all of them, because obviously Superman and Fantastic Four, but this was, in terms of horror movies of this year so far, this was the most hyped up horror movie.
This was pretty hyped.
So far. And I was so excited to watch this movie because it looked crazy. Just from the trailers alone. The trailers, there were a bunch of them. I know that I kind of like clowned on that aspect of releasing a bunch of trailers. But the way that they did it in a way where they didn't reveal anything about it. There was still that mystery of it that I was like, man, I want to watch this. So now going into the basic points, right? So this is going to be our first and only August film of this review. This was released on August 8th of 2025. The budget for this one, $38 million. So not that much. It was higher than Together, but it was less than all of the other ones that we've reviewed so far. Now, this part is crazy. We're going to talk about the gross profit. Domestic, $115.9 million. So it made a lot, almost, what is that? That's more than triple of the budget that they had for it. So I mean, more than triple the amount of the budget. And globally, it made $199.4 million. Almost, definitely more than triple, for sure. Now we're going to get into the Rotten Tomatoes score. Now, this tomato meter is the highest of all the films that we've released so far, and it's at 94%. critics loved this film. Very, very much so. And popcorn meter, 85%. So critics love this film. The audience was like, this was good. This was good. Elias, Weapons, what do you think?
Okay, so Weapons, out of all these films that we've been talking about, I think this might be the one that might be my favorite one out of all of them. So Weapons,
Out of all the movies we talked about?
the ones we talked about today, that's my favorite. This might be my favorite one. So I think I remember seeing the trailers for this like a while back, and just the first trailer you ever see, just with like no sound, just seeing the kids leaving their house, running and stuff, like it already makes this uncomfortable feeling of like, hey, like what's going on?
Is it blasphemy to say that the trailer was better than the film itself? Is that blasphemous?
So I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that.
We'll get to that. That popped in my head.
The trailer itself and the way everything portrayed it, and I mentioned this in the other one, same energy where it's just like, oh, this is like one of the best horror movies you're gonna see right now. And honestly, if I talk about this movie like a horror film, then it's an okay film. It's not a film that I would recommend to everybody. Now, if we're talking about this film like as a thriller, this is an amazing film. Yeah. It's made well. It's acted well. Everything about, I don't think I have, well, there's a couple of things I have nitpicks about it, but overall, it's so good. The cast is good. And the fact that it's a last minute cast too, because like originally Pedro Pascal was supposed to be in this one too.
Another Pedro Pascal movie.
And then he backed out of it, and then so it was supposed to be Pedro Pascal and another set of people. Yeah. He backs out of the project, and they all backed out too. So they grabbed all these people at last minute.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because, I forgot what's this girl's name again.
Julia Garner.
Julia Garner was also in Silver Surfer, and
she wasn't a part of that original cast, right?
She wasn't.
She was not.
She wasn't. And the thing is that I believe Pedro Pascal turned it down to do Fantastic Four. And then she jumped in. But the thing is that she was already doing Fantastic Four, and she jumped in on this film. Yeah. And this film did way better than Fantastic Four. Matter of fact, she made more money in this film. And
because of its low budget. It was probably low budget. Do you think it was low budget because of how it was last minute?
Honestly, I think it's because it's a better film. Like, it's a well-made film. Like, the whole... From beginning to end, it's intriguing. I love the concept of, like... It's a story... But then each time it switches up the POVs of like, this is this person's POV of how this day happened. And then it will switch to this person. And then they start connecting of like, how did this person intertwine? Or how does this person get here? And it's amazing, to be honest. I love the film. Yeah. My only thing was just that it's just I think the only nitpick I have with this film is just that we never really get an answer of like, why the aunt was doing the things she was doing, because she was just like, oh, like, because she pops up, she does her voodoo stuff, puts the voodoo stuff on that kid's parents, and then he's like, oh, like, hey, I have your parents, but I need more. Bring me your school friends, and that's where you get all these kids running over there and whatever. Yeah, but like, that was a crazy. What did she really do? What did she really need them for? Because she just kept them in the basement feeding them soup. So, like, that's my only thing is that's, like, they never really imply, like, what were they using? Like, was she going to use them for like, to heal herself because she was, like, sick or whatever? Or something. But, like, we never get an explanation. She just kept them in the basement feeding them soup. Yeah. Also, my other thing, too, is that if I'm a clerk and I work at a store and I see the same kid dropping $200 of canned soup every day... I would question it. Like, number one, where's he getting this? Where's he getting all this soup? Why does he need all this soup? How is he getting the money for all this soup? And again, the kid's like, hey, he's walking by himself. Like,
bro is balling to be buying that much soup.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
you're not gonna ask him, hey, where you get that money from?
No, I'm like, hey, where's your mom? Like, what do you need? Hey, just out of curiosity, why are you getting all this soup for?
Soup.
Yeah.
Good soup.
I think, and then I would say the only. Like I say, as a thriller, it's amazing. As a scary movie, I don't think there's anything. The only time I did feel like kind of scared or like an unsettling feeling is the scene where, like, you know, like Julia's character is like in front of the house. She's asleep, and then like the person just comes out like.
This is my favorite scene.
I'll
talk about that more.
Like gets in the she walks in like
that was crazy.
And the fact that the whole scene is quiet and she's just like
Yeah.
walking to the car, you see her pass the car, you hear the car open, you hear the car shut, so like you're just like this unsettled feeling like, oh my god, she's in the car with her, and she's asleep too, so like you don't notice, and then it's just like just to cut her hair like for her whatever. But
you are my witness. Everyone in that theater, as soon as she passed the car and the door opened, everyone was like, and you heard everyone go, oh, like they all gasped
because like
at that moment because no one was expecting the car to open. So it was like, oh my gosh, she's gonna die. That was so well done. Anyway, you were saying.
But yeah, so like as a thriller, it's an amazing film. I personally think that this cast, if we would have kept the original cast, it would have been different. Because personally, I loved Josh Brolin in this film and the way he portrays a guy just looking for his son.
Shout out Thanos.
Like, yeah, like he was he was amazing in this film. And honestly, everyone was amazing in this film. Speaking of Thanos, the guy who plays Wong was in this film too. Like,
yeah.
Matter of fact, weird thing. A lot of people that were in this film have done Marvel films. I don't think
Interesting.
I don't think it's every
Conspiracy
character
theory.
in this cast, but a good handful of these guys did Marvel films.
Yeah.
Like, or even then, like I said, Julia was right. It's currently in a Marvel film.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I was fascinated with this film.
Yeah. Guys, I loved this movie. This was awesome. Is it better than what we talked about before, Fantastic Four and Superman? It's not better than those movies, but man, for those that don't know, you'll get to know. But you know, horror is my favorite genre of movie, and maybe I'll get more into that in another video. If you guys want to hear about that, drop it in the comments below. But horror is my favorite genre, so I critique it very harshly, but I also like give it a lot of grace because of how much love I have for it. So I love watching horror movies. This was great. I originally thought, and this could be just like, you know, post movie feelings. As soon as we got out of it, I was like, this could be a contender for the scariest movie of the year. I was already on that hype train. I was like, man, this was great. This was awesome. I thought almost everything about it was amazing. The cinematography, amazing. The acting, amazing. Shout out Julia Garner again for her third movie of 2025 so far. Amazing character play that she did. The score of this film was awesome. It was giving like Smile vibes.
Yes.
And if you guys know the score from Smile, that score is like, dare I say, iconic. Now, I don't want to say Weapons, this score is iconic, but it was very similar to that. And that's one of the reasons why I loved it so much. The plot and the story was also amazing, in my opinion. The way that they, you know, kind of put everything together for me and wrapped it in a bow tie was just good for me. And I didn't think the scary level was amazing, but I thought that it was just right for what it needed to be. And again, like what Elias brought up, that scene where, you know, she's parked in front of the house sleeping, and then you just see this lady walk out with the scissors, like, you just see her walk out like that. Like, again, everyone in the theater was just shocked at that scene. And that was just so eerie. Like, I felt like ants were crawling on my skin when that happened. And I was like, ah! And that's what makes a good horror movie for me. So, guys, for me, this was awesome. You have anything else you want to add?
No, I think I said everything about Weapons.
All right. So, Weapons. Come on. What do you guys think I gave it? Come on, bro. 5 out of 5. This movie was... If you couldn't already tell by the way I'm passionate about speaking it, this was a 5. I know what people are going to say. Oh, but what about the little weapon over the house? That was a silly, goofy scene.
So, I put a 4, but I'm going to change it to a 4.5.
Ooh!
just because
I like that.
now that I'm looking at the numbers I gave, I'm not like okay. So the reason why I'm giving it a 4.5 because I really enjoyed this film, but I also gave Fantastic Four a 4.5, and I don't personally think that this film, like I don't think Fantastic Four was better than this film. My personal take.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna bump up the numbers, because like I said, it's as a horror movie, it may not be for everybody, but as a thriller, it is such a well made film.
Yeah, it's not the scariest horror movie you're gonna watch this year, which coming up in September we're gonna have The Conjuring. I think that's definitely gonna be the scariest movie of the year.
Yeah.
Which we will be doing a review on, so stay tuned for that for our September review. But yeah, so 5 and 4.5. That is gonna be a 9.5 out of 10 for our official Popcorn and Parables official rating for Weapons.
Okay.
So, with that being said, any final remarks before we give our July and August review overall?
So to start off, I want to also just kind of take it back to where the concept of is popcorn and parables is that we talk about films, but also have it be just regarding always going back to Christ. So one of the concepts we want to do is that we want to talk about the films and just kind of say, okay, like, so is there any of these films that are, as a Christian, would it affect you? Would you feel something, or would you feel conviction watching any of these films?
Yeah.
So out of all the five, I think Superman and Fantastic Four are just superhero films.
Yeah.
I personally think they're very harmless.
Very harmless. I think also Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore is harmless.
I think probably just the last two are probably the ones that maybe.
Again, if you're somebody who just kind of likes that like comedy, then go ahead.
Adam Sandler. Yeah.
Together,
I wouldn't recommend Together.
I wouldn't recommend.
I wouldn't recommend it.
So I wouldn't recommend it just where. I guess I wouldn't recommend it just because I feel like if you're just body horror is not something you're accustomed to, or that body horror is something that makes you feel uncomfortable, then again, I personally wouldn't. Weapons. I feel like I don't think there's any. Okay, so like, the only thing about weapons that you're just gonna have to walk into knowing is just that there is again, like witchcraft and voodoo involved. So those are things that you feel convicted of, like that you feel uncomfortable being around. I wouldn't suggest watching this film. If these are things that don't really bother you, then I would just say as a thriller, it's a fine film.
Yeah, I think also another element to add to this is that we, like, for the most part, besides us just our interest in them, we kind of watch them so you don't have to, which is why we give these reviews. I think, again, so for those three movies that we talked about, Superman, Fantastic Four, and Happy Gilmore, I think those are more, like, you don't need to kind of, like, think about watching it. It's like, if you want to watch it, it's perfectly fine. But again, I think something important to also add is that, like, this opinion is also based off of our personal convictions that we have. And you approach any movie or anything that you're going to do in your life with your personal convictions that you have. So if you're someone that is convicted about horror in general, if you like horror but you're not a fan of body horror, if you like thrillers but are kind of like sensitive to like the aspect of like kids getting abducted or whatever the case may be, then maybe Weapons isn't for you. Body horror maybe Together isn't for you. But again, it's all just dependent on how you look at movies and what are your personal convictions towards certain topics and towards certain things that the movie talks about. So I think if anything, the ones that maybe you should think about and seek guidance from the Holy Spirit is Together and Weapons. So yeah, anything else?
And then before we give the final verdict, which one was your favorite out of these five?
I mean, based off of my ratings, definitely it's between Superman, Fantastic Four, and Weapons. Man.
But you have to pick one.
I have to pick one. Now, here's the thing. For me, it's difficult because, again, horror is my favorite genre, so for that I lean towards Weapons. But Fantastic Four was just a emotional and thriller-filled roller coaster that I was like, man, that was an awesome movie. But again, my bias towards this is because horror is my favorite genre, and that like eerie aspect of weapons like had me like locked in my seat, and I'm like, I want more of this. So this may be a bold statement and it may be a hot take, but for me, out of all these 5, I think Weapons is my favorite movie out of this review.
I would agree with you. I think for me, out of all these 5 films, Weapons is my personal favorite one out of
I'm
each
surprised
one.
we agree on that. But I like it. I'm a fan.
Just because, again, the other films are fine. Again, one is a superhero film. 2 of them are superhero films. One's a Netflix comedy. Other one is just body horror.
Yeah.
But
Very different genres.
I think out of all of these, like I can, which one I will recommend, it would be Weapons, and also that would be the one that I wouldn't mind watching again.
Yeah. All right. So with that being said, the combined ratings for our July and August review of all these films is going to be an 8.5 out of 10. So July and August get the combined score of 8.5 out of 10. So what that tells us is that basically July and August was pretty decent for films that we watched. So with that being said, any closing statements that you want to add before we close out?
No, I think it's everything. Yeah, I think July and August we did have a couple of good films, which again it makes sense just because I do feel like in summer blockbusters, so like usually in films and stuff, like they usually try to drop. Usually the better films are usually come out in the summertime. So
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that we got a pretty good number compared to them.
Yeah. And guys, just get ready because these next couple months leading to the end of the year, there's going to be some really good films that are coming out. I cannot wait for October. It's going to be so much fun. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and end it here. So guys, if you haven't already, go ahead and click that subscribe button and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and turn on your post notifications and like the video, share with a friend. Go ahead and drop in the comments if you guys have any video suggestions that you want us to go ahead and do, whether it's a movie review, a trailer review, or anything that you guys want to see in general. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. But with that being said, I'm Joey.
I'm Elias.
And this was Popcorn and Parables. Have yourselves a great day.